The representative from Bergenfield now has the floor.
It's a slam synopsis. 12 strums and we enter the center of idiot America. All across our patriotic area are sounds of hysteria, except this choice voice is cutting through, calling out media who are feeding us images limited in worth but loaded with redneck agenda, and this faggot would amend the propaganda plaguing the people who pray to their steeple of 6 o'clock news. Then we meet the Jesus of Suburbia, the heroin shooting star of our show. He is the product of rage and love, deranged on soda pop and Ritalin. His sin is sitting on his cushioned crucifix, getting his fix on TV without his mom and Brad, which is bad because notice how he doesn't say dad. Using alcohol, cigarettes, and Mary J. Blige is our central character who lives in a land of make-believe and grieves about more than just pot, but life in the 7-Eleven parking lot. Home is not where your heart is because his heart is jammed, that no one cares in his city of the damned. But Jesus doesn't care if you don't. Jesus doesn't care if you don't. Jesus doesn't care if you don't care. Where to next? Well, Jesus becomes preacher and teacher, explaining how everyone are misfits and hypocrites full of shit. The kids from War and Peace who go from the cradles until they cease. From Anaheim to the Middle East, these are the gory stories, the disciples of
the Jesus of Suburbia!
And once he cools down, we get a softer side. Dearly beloved, is it his insecurities which plague his psyche, or does he suffer from total insanity? He is not perfect, but is afflicted by Jingle Town and refuses to drown, so Mike Dern brings us in as his life needs fixing. See, he's existing but not living, and this town ain't giving him self-worth, but a hurricane of fucking lies. It's a rebirth with no shame. He won't apologize for running away from pain when he was victimized, realizes that his home was broken, thus he has spoken that he's leaving home. Hear that? Jesus has left his town and is joining the revolution. Are you pro-war? Well, he'll rebel you and tell you to hear dogs howling, rain falling, and men bawling as the company lost for their investors. Protesters are crossing the line or aisle to find that money is a lot more worthwhile. For the people in the back, say it again. Can I get another amen? The representative from California steps up and says, "Heil, guys, let's use bombs to kill all the fags that don't agree, but it's a drag, you see. He has no desire for this pie or fire. He wants to cut his ties because he differs from the hollow lies. This adrenaline ride is the dawning of their lives, but the holiday is over." Not just over, but hungover, as Jesus is now a little emo, walking all alone on a road he knows but wishes he didn't, ridden with fucked up thoughts, feeling emotionally scarred. He walks on the boulevard of broken dreams. It seems that he is at a low. I mean, he needs to check his vitals to see if he's alive, but let's dive further, because right now he's on the edge with just his shadow to go, feels slow, and wants mo from someone. As the sun goes down, he continues to mourn and feels forlorn under a Van Gogh and Chaplin film. This city was something he once had in his dreams, but he is not fulfilled. His spirit is killed. In this new life he begins hating, asking, are we are the waiting. Any regrets he must forget, because he is set on stating through a cry that the Jesus of Suburbia is a lie, which would mean he is a lie. So what's in store? He'll become something more. He'll change the score on the count of 1, 2! Enter St. Jimmy, the mental parallel of Jesus meant to please us. He's a suicide commando that knows your mama and masters the drama. He'll force your trauma with his rule as king and fling the needle in the vein of the establishment. He's hellbent and needs a mint because his brother's got cigarettes, ramen, and a little bag of dope. Done there? Nope, no, he's an Edgar Allan Poe, a son of a gun, the patron saint of denial. He gets you riled with his angel face and a taste for suicide. Feel victimized, blame war and fear because you're near the club of the cult of crime with a teenage assassin assigning himself to you, old boy. So enjoy the leader of the lost and found. Lose the frown. It's not just tragedy but comedy. Can't you see why he has this fame? It's St. Jimmy, and that's his name.
And don't wear it out!
After the elation, Jesus has a sensation of insane migraines in his head and he could end up dead. See, Jimmy coaxes him to choke his nerves and observe a moment of release. It pleases him, this moment of tragedy. We get comedy because he gets a funny feeling appealing to his drug use. Is it abuse? Well, that's for you to decide, though amidst the plight, Jesus just wants a kiss goodnight and for Jimmy to tell him everything will be alright. Well, Jesus does get a kiss from a rebel and a saint, though she ain't no Jimmy, no. She shimmies across borders, penny for her thoughts, he'll give her quarter. She's a real vigilante, she don't play no games, and she's the one that they call... what's her name? Well, Jesus is in love with what's her name because she dreams like he dreams. Prepare for trouble and make it double as they rock into a revolution. She's singing the dawning of the rest of their lives. He is so in love. Get this guy a magnum. She's holding up his heart like the cover of the album. But from track 5 to track 6, their love needs a fix. What once was happy is turned into woe. It's
Too much too soon!
Oh wait, that's from the show. She's an extraordinary girl who's dealing with a child. She's not mild and he's not wild, and he lacks the courage and vigor, and it's not worth the rigor. It's an endless drone of him wanting to die, her having to cry that the love they made decayed, and thus she pulls the pin on her hand grenade.
Nobody likes you, everyone left you, they're all out without you, having fun.
Time for a truth letter bomb. Jesus wonders what the hell happened to the bastards and riots. It's quiet and quite the night to realize that this dummy failed the crash test. He could not best the city. It's gritty and shitty, but standing still will get you killed faster than you got plastered, for starters. And where will the martyrs go when the virus cures itself, or when it's too late? Don't debate. Your father's rage and your mother's love gave you Jimmy, but he's just a figment and not the true pigment of your mind. She loved JOS, but does stress that it's not over until the fat lady is underground, so whether or not you believe in fate, it's not over before it's too late. After hitting rock bottom, we approach autumn, and you can hear the rain which carries the pain of growing up. This song is about a lost father, and some say 9/11. Life is no heaven, and even Jesus can agree that returning to a time when spring began would seem lovely. We all must pay, and sometimes the ultimate cost, but if you're still alive, never forget what you lost, whether that be your morals, your home, or even your friends. So for now, wake him up when September ends. Well, homecoming is our alarm clock and cock-a-doodle-doo. Jesus is up and at him with Jimmy as he goes to say goodbye and deny any further access to the parasite that has been the plight of his downfall. No more stalling, the rain has fallen, and his dreams can be lost at a high cost, and it's because of St. Jimmy who dwells in the city of lust, and if you trust, then you must prepare for pleasure perpendicular to pain in the mind. But Jesus is done, and the commando lives to his namesake and forsakes in a state of mind by blowing his brains out in a private suicide. Does anyone care that Jesus is free? He now works at a facility on East 12th Street, filling out paperwork. This jerk hates his life, cut him free with a knife. He just wants to return to the underbelly under the assumption that consumption will make him truly free. Vocals are now switched to Mike as Jesus hinges on syringes and binges Spike. He's all alone with an awfully lot of coffee and wishes he didn't run because nobody loves him. Everyone left him. They're all out without him. Having fun. Now in the fourth of 5 acts, blow that sax, as Jesus is reunited with an old friend named Tunny, who's voiced by Trey. And this punk Phil Collins fills Jesus in on his rock and roll life. GFNXNX, he has 2 kids, a house, a car, can play drums and guitar, and has gone farther than Jesus, who just takes it all in a daze. Oh, and he hasn't done drugs in over 22 days. My kind of guy. Time for the homecoming. Coming home isn't easy, and he sees friends who bring fun reunions, yet he doesn't feel complete in the summer heat. The Slurpee can't cool him down. His world is spinning round. Forget about winning now. He fears that he will be lame, so he writes to what's-her-name to visit him in hell, but at least he can yell that he is home. He returns to the barrio with, I assume, a slight frown. To you and him, it's Jingletown, where everyone likes you, nobody leaves you, they're all out with you, having fun for now. And that was that. As our story comes to a close, it goes to show what leaving home can bring. Or is it about being a tortured youth? The band says the truth is open-ended, without full closure, like Jesus' exposure to his first love he met while playing life's game. He remembers everything about her, except her name. Their time was bereft, and yes, she left, but in the darkest night, his memory still burns bright of that timpani drumming homecoming. Remember September being unwell with his extraordinary rebel, complaints cured by a saint, waiting to be freed from the lonely road, calling out the mode after he left his crucifix, cursing the media's tricks from the Middle East back to Anaheim, forgetting her. But not the time.